Hey, happy day. Another daily scare share. Today is day 116. 116 days I have done one thing a day that scares me. Sometimes it scares me a lot. Sometimes it scares me a little. But from the book, Do One Thing a Day That Scares You. My daughter challenged me to do one thing a day that scares me to get me out of the rut that my life had been. Well, just that it had become. I was living in a lot of routines that weren't bad, but guess what? They weren't anything special either. They were just plain boring. So to get out of boring, to get out of being kind of a hermit, I guess I was being a little bit of a hermit. And that's not usually me. She found this book on my bookshelf and challenged me to do one thing a day that scares me. So, of course, the first thing that scared me was doing Facebook Lives. So I thought, what better way to stretch my comfort zone than to do a Facebook Live every day about something to stretch my comfort zone? It just made sense. And it still makes sense because I need to continue to practice doing Facebook Live videos, getting better and better at it, sharing me, sharing my voice, and hoping that that helps you to do the same, because we all need to stretch our comfort zones. We all need to be continually growing and continually improving. Well, today is one of those challenging days with all the blank lines. Yesterday was all about saying yes to a friend. Today is all about saying no to a friend. Okay, it's really hard for me to say no to a friend. If someone asks me to do something, I pretty much, if there's any way I can possibly make it happen, I do it for them. You know, within reason. I think I mentioned yesterday, if my friend asked me for $1 million, not happening. Probably not happening. Unless it's like a really good business investment or something. And then I might make it happen. It's really a bizarre example. So, what can I say no to a friend today? I was having a hard time coming up with something. So, I went to my handy dandy fallback strategy, grabbed a deck of cards off my counter, and pulled a random card. Yay, random card. This one was actually from the deck called Money and the Law of Attraction Cards by Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham. And of course, I'm getting a Voxer already, so I will ignore that right now because I'm in the middle of a video. But then I will answer it because Voxer is an awesome tool, and I love people that are like me and are up. It's actually pretty early in the morning, so I appreciate that there's people that get up with me and we all can do our thing together. So I won't say no. I'll say no right now to a friend because I'm in the middle of a video. But there, I just said no to a friend. Hey, challenge made. Not a very good one. So let's go back to our card. Today the card says, handy dandy magnifying glass, I will tell my story as I want it to be. How often do we run around in our head telling our story and actually telling it out loud to people of all the crap that's going on in our life, all the things that aren't going right? Guess what happens when you do that? You get more crap and more things that aren't going right in your life. If I wake up and I say, I got a headache, I got a headache, I got a headache, and then when the kids get up, I tell them I get a headache. Then if I go to town and I tell the store clerk that I've got a headache, and the banker that I've got a headache, and the lady at the post office that I've got a headache, guess what? I'll be in bed with a migraine by 11 a.m. because I have continued to tell that story of how I have a headache, and that is not what I want. So what if I tell myself, I feel awesome, I feel terrific, I'm going to have a marvelous day? That is a much better story, and that is the story I want to have. So today's challenge, if you don't want to say no to a friend, because saying no to friends is hard, even though it stretches our comfort zone, and maybe you say no today and then yes tomorrow, that sounds like something I would do. Think about the story that you're telling over and over again in your head, and is there something that you should change about that because it's creating results in your life that you don't want, because we can change our story anytime to actually create the life that we want. Now, I could read this to you, but it basically says we get what we expect, we get what we think about, we get what we tell ourselves, we get the stories that we tell because that's the life that we're creating. And it says all that. See in this teeny tiny print, magnifying glass? But I don't need to read it to you because I just told you. So go out, make it a fantastic day, stretch your comfort zone, do at least one thing that moves you toward what it is that you want. And if that's telling your story as you want it to be, do that today. Tell your story one time today as you want it to be. At least yourself. Look in the mirror and tell your story to yourself exactly the ideal life that you want to be living. And watch how quickly things and details about that life start to appear in your life for real. Go out, have an awesome day. See you tomorrow with day 117 of the Daily Scare Share. Bye. Don't be scared.